News scares me. Coming to you on an off day for the Colorado Avalanche. Wanted to get into the Colorado Avalanche weaknesses today, and this is not intended to be like a doomer show, but the Avs have hit a bit of a speed bump, and frankly, the list of weaknesses is a lot shorter than the list of strengths. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, the list of strengths is like a 5-part series.
Right.
That's one of those scrolls on those movies that they just like roll it out and it
keeps
goes
going.
down the stairs and
It's
you
like-
go out the door.
You do it like the Star Wars scroll.
Yeah.
You start at the top, but you go on like 5x speed.
Yeah.
And it's just like they're good at all
still
of this.
going.
Yeah.
So,
And like 10 of them are just Kale McCarr.
Yeah.
just interspersed
Yeah.
all the way down. So we'll get into some of that today. I think there are some interesting conversations to have, but starting off with news of the day, Colorado Avalanche did have a light practice today. Bailey, you were there. It sounds like nothing too major, but Zakhar Bardakov, I guess it's technically not a conditioning stint, but it is a conditioning stint.
Conditioning in the way that Zakhar Bardakov probably needs,
Sure.
considering he's only played maybe 5 minutes a game the last couple games, if that. So yeah, Bednar made it perfectly clear. Like he'll get the call up to be back in time for Friday, but the Eagles are going to be playing 2 games between now and Friday. So he's going to get a lot more minutes in a controlled environment, get some of that coaching. And Ivan went down as well. It sounds like Bednar is planning on making a ton more call-ups just to kind of supplement some of those losses as well.
I think this
before Friday.
conditioning stint for Zakhar Bardakov is more about not his physical conditioning, but conditioning his ass to go back to the KHL pretty soon, because I don't think he's going to stick here.
It does
They've
not
had-
seem like the Bednar connection
We were
has been made.
They've
Just
had half of
joking.
a season
Yeah.
to try and figure this out, and like now the big part of his value while he was here is he played center, and all right, now he's not doing that anymore. Now he's a wing. It's the deepest position the Avs have. It's like if there weren't a litany of injuries there, he would have been in. He
wouldn't have been in the lineup at all.
Yeah, he would have been an Eagle such a long time
I mean, the
ago.
joke before we started recording is the experiment's over.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's done.
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good because there are a lot of things I really like about him, but with the Avalanche in this like hyper focused
Yeah.
win now, like Gavin Brindley sort of kicked down the door and is like,
This spot is
I
mine.
dare you to not play me.
Right.
Zakhar Bardakov has been way more up and down, way more like traditional young guy.
Yeah.
And it's hard to win a job on the Avalanche when you're like that. Like Gavin Brindley, the reason he's such a surprise
The consistency.
is he in his he doesn't take penalties, his checking, his offensive punch, like the whole all the round package there is really intriguing and has worked.
Yep.
And with Bardakov, there's been so much miss. There's been some hit, but so much miss.
Yep.
And let's be real, if he was playing for like Nashville or something, they could live with the bumps.
Yeah.
The Avs don't want to live with those bumps and bruises along the way to try and get him to be better. And I think that the Avs are just in such a mindset of, and this is, I think, detrimental to them at times, but they're in such a mindset of, we're not here to develop guys in the league. If you can do that, great, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to win every single day. And if you are not functionally improving our chances at doing that, you won't be here.
Yeah.
This is where I think the Ivan thing is interesting because we really liked a lot of what he did last year, but he has a tendency to play a quiet game. And that's never flown under Bednar. Guys who play quiet games have never flown.
Nope.
I think it's interesting. You say, I don't know that I fully agree with the idea of we don't want to develop guys here in the NHL, but they don't want to raise guys' floors. they want the floor to be at a certain level, and then they can work you up from there. But if the floor's not where Jared Bednar needs it to be, you're going to have a hard time finding minutes.
Well, it's why the roster has gotten so veteran heavy over the last couple of years, because I think they've just been like, this is it. This is our time. You know, they early on in this era, the Tyson Josts and the JT Comfers, those guys left college, got to the NHL, and the Avs just went, go play. And we'll see how this goes. They're not there anymore. They're not doing that with anybody. Gavin Brindley wasn't supposed to do this.
No, that's a diamond in the rough type situation.
He's just the exception here, but he's also like the example of like, he kicked down the door and demanded to be given a spot or be made a fool of, because it's like, that guy's worse than me.
Yep.
And again, the big what if here is if Logan O'Connor returns in early November as he was scheduled to.
Does any of this happen?
Where does any of this conversation go? But that's, I mean, those opportunities ended up in front of them, and Gavin Brindley has taken it. Zakhar Bartikov, I honestly like him.
Yeah,
he's my kind of guy.
If he had 2 years of runway, he'd be a really interesting guy.
Even just a full year where you played him 12 minutes every single night, and you worked on him as a PK guy. You worked on the faceoffs. You let him iron these issues out.
Yep.
But they're not interested in that.
Well,
they're just not interested.
Bailey, you mentioned, hey, they want to get a look at some of these other guys. We've seen Ivan a little bit. They called up Tynan, which I personally don't need to see much of at all. We saw Taylor McCarr earlier in the year. How much of this is Bartikov himself, and how much of this is the Avs find themselves in a unique situation? They have some injuries and they have some leeway in the standings that they can try some stuff.
I mean, I think this is kind of a continuation in a way of what we saw last year from this Avs team. They've got that injury, situation, and they're just trying different things. If there's nothing that's really fitting the way that Bednar wants it to fit, he's going to get it as many looks at as many guys as possible. Like, that means bringing up a Taylor McCarr maybe a couple more times. That means giving Ivan a couple more looks. And as long as that injury situation is there, I think that's the continuation of what we see. Bednar's, unless you're, as you were mentioning, AJ, unless you're seeing that game that Bednar really, really likes out of those depth guys, I don't see anybody earning like, okay, I'm going to be like the stand-up call-up guy. I'm going to be like the number one. That's just not how this system's built. And call that a developmental issue or what have you, whatever.
I just think it's priorities.
That's what it. Yeah, that's absolutely what it seems like. And we've seen that he has favorites in those realms, right? Like,
Always
he
does.
obviously loves what he, or at least thinks it's sustainable for what he's getting out of a McCarr, or at least, he's not necessarily losing you games, or like there's.
You mean Taylor?
Taylor McCarr. My bad. But like an Ivan, or like, you're getting at least something manageable out of guys like that. It's why he keeps going back to them. But I don't know. It's a way to test things out.
It kind of reminds me. You go to an arcade. You play those claw games.
Sure.
And you pick out the one that you want first, and you're like, okay, that's the one I actually want. And then you put the money in, and the claw goes, and then it starts to pick it up, and you're like, oh yeah, baby, this is it. And then it drops, and then you get nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, so you try it 2 or 3 more times with that one.
Then you go for the one you can get.
It got dropped often enough that it's now in a bad spot. And you go, okay, this isn't working. I got to try something else.
Yep.
That's what it feels like Bednar's doing with minor league players.
Kinda, yeah.
He's just claw machining them until he actually catches one, and he's like, great, that's what I want.
But like,
it's such a grass is always greener mentality right now.
And the thing that really sucks for me too is, like, I don't know as though there's any player right now with the Eagles. Like, the Eagles are doing fine. They're doing great this season.
One of the best AHL teams,
There's no guy on that team that I'm sitting there saying Bednar really, really likes this guy. Like, there's nobody that fits that
guy was supposed
role.
to be Gavin Brindley, and he liked him too much.
Well, he made the team, but
He
again,
was like,
that's
well, see, AJ, DNVR, see, I can like one of these guys.
I was in that boat from the get-go. I loved Gavin Brindley, but like that's what it feels like. Not everybody can be that diamond in the rough, and you can be a solid AHL guy. You can be a solid addition to an AHL team and go and thrive, especially under the system that Letestu's created down there. I love what he's been doing with the team, but that doesn't mean that's going to translate well to a system that the Avs play. It's a really hard system to adapt and adjust to, and you can have a great game here and there. We saw it with a Tristan Nielsen when he got his call up.
Yeah. I forgot about Tristan
It's
Nielsen.
been a minute since
But
we've seen him.
what has he done in like it's not as though he's had a great stretch. Like he
Yeah.
has one really good game and then it's like we don't really notice him. What do you do with that?
Let me flip this question to you guys instead of Bednar. Of the guys we've seen the Avs call up, which one do you want to see get more time? Or is there someone else you want to see that maybe hasn't had a call up yet?
I don't know. I haven't minded what Taylor McCarr's done. He's probably my favorite of recent, but
Yeah, I forget if this was a conversation in one of the watch-alongs or one of the post games or something recently, but I think Taylor McCarr poses an interesting question for the Avs lineup because of what you've seen. Gavin Brindley earns a spot. Heart of lion, awesome. Size of a bobcat. Not the biggest body of all time. A guy like Victor Olofsson in your depth. Not the most physical guy.
Size of a bobcats are pretty decently sized. He's like the size of
like it's a bobcat in a world
In a
full of
lion's
mountain
den.
lions.
Yeah.
or-
he's like the size of like a house cat. He's tiny, man. That's one of the only NHLers I look eye to eye and I go, oh no, buddy. And then he's awesome.
No, you know what he reminds me of though too is like one of those squishy toys. Like you can scrunch it as much as you want, but he always goes back to size.
He
Like
expands.
that's he's always going to remain like I don't know. He's very durable, which he lasts.
Yeah, so the Avs have a smaller guy like that, a Victor Olofsson, who like quietly has been pretty good defensively, but no physicality in his game at all.
Oh no.
So maybe you feel like the Avs lack a little bit of that, and you look at some of the options. Ivan, like you said, often plays a quiet game. He's not really the guy that's charging into people. Even someone like a Tristan Nielsen is going to have a offensively minded type of hockey game.
Yeah. What you love about Nielsen though is he has jam.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
plays hard.
But
I loved him in the preseason.
like-
It was
if you play like a wrecking ball, but you're a marble, you're not going to do
Right.
that much.
and that's
You-
where
it's
I
just-
think
you can't do that.
beyond the he's Kale's brother, I think this is where we see Taylor McCarr. I put their
See, it's
names
not just
together.
me.
I know. Taylor McCarr has a little bit of that size and has a little bit of that willingness to just run into the dirty areas and whatever happens.
Yeah.
Is that enough to justify more ice time or more opportunities called up for Taylor?
I'm not going to answer your question directly.
That's fine.
And I'll get to it. But when you said guys that you want to see time from, my real answer, and you're going to hate this, it's he can't stay healthy, so it doesn't matter.
A fair
but
point.
Matt Steinberg is that guy.
If you're looking for jam,
Exactly.
absolutely,
Matt Steinberg,
yeah.
like
He's gonna bring the boom.
Do the
yeah.
Avalanche need more skill in their lineup? Like, is that something that they are desperately in search of? Or could they really use some crazy? Like, I'm all about adding the crazy, but if you can't stay healthy, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
No.
You can't be made of glass.
Well, that and there's the disciplinary aspect of it too.
Well, and,
when
like,
he does the dumb things.
Let
that
him
you're
learn
like,
to walk the line. The same with Bardakov.
Fair.
Prove that he can't handle it. And obviously, the suspension last year was a
pretty bad.
It's proof. If that's the counterpoint, then it is completely fair. You ask the question, who would you like to see more time of? My answer is, if healthy, I want to see Steiny.
Okay.
Of the guys that we have seen, it is absolutely, undeniably for me, Taylor McCarr.
Okay.
That's why I didn't want to answer first. I wanted somebody else to say it.
I'm glad it's not just me.
It's easily Taylor McCarr. Like,
Yeah.
he plays with that physicality, and because his last name is McCarr, you think you're going to get one type of player. He's not anything like that. He's not like that at all. He's a wrecking ball, the size of a wrecking ball, and he can do some damage. He can play with that physicality. He has an attack mentality. We haven't really gotten to see any of the skill.
Yeah.
it's not like it's overwhelming in the AHL
Hard to
level
skill
either.
a lot at 4.5 minutes a night. Like,
Yeah.
But you also see with the Eagles, he's not an overwhelming skill guy, but he's effective in the
does
role.
the hard work. Yeah.
He's effective in the role that he would be asked to play in the NHL, that he's been asked to play in the NHL. And that's what makes him so appealing. Why is our answer not Daniil Gushchin? He's awesome with the puck.
I would love
He's
to see him some.
He's got such skill. It is not what they need. If Victor Olofsson and Gavin Brindley didn't exist,
Different story.
maybe Daniil Gushchin could survive there.
Well, I was gonna say, and then my next question is too: what about a guy like Prishapov?
I want to talk about him too.
I want to see him get it tuned up. It took such a long
He's
time for
been
him to
pretty
get healthy.
decent since he got healthy. In
But
the
I
NHL,
want him to get into a rhythm. I don't want it to be like, okay, he's healthy and he had a good couple of weeks. Now we're going to call him up, and then it just halts all of it. And then he plays 4 minutes a night. Like, he's a young guy that I think is an actual part of this future. I want him to get like real minutes there for a while.
Well, and the big conversation here, which is part of what makes it hard for Taylor McCarr. I'll get there. Yeah, I know. What makes it hard for Taylor McCarr is, what are the Avs cycling through ad nauseum right now? Centers.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why someone like Ivan is getting his shot. We can be done with the Tynan thing. We don't need to keep doing that.
Yeah, that
but
experiment's one and done.
I
for
didn't
me,
like it when it happened, except for it was against Columbus, and I enjoyed that little bit of kismet that Tynan and Brindley, Columbus draft picks,
Yeah.
got like the revenge
It's
game.
just more for the storyline than
Right, and
anything. Yeah,
I'm a writer.
Feel good.
The narrative is
Yeah.
great. It was, and Brindley had 2 assists, and I was like, cool. And TJ Tynan was on the ice for a goal, since he doesn't actually ever score. But like, I mean, come on, he just scored like his first AHL goal of the season, like recently.
Yeah.
So
He has like 30
it's not shade. He
assists.
just doesn't shoot the puck. But yeah, like the Tynan thing, it can go. It can go.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
Couple of other news stuff to get into, but we do need to take our first break of the show. So let's shout out a few of our sponsors. Let's talk about the official craft beer of DNVR. That is Breckenridge Brewery. They have my favorite amber ale, which is the Avalanche. It's a perfect balance between a malt and hops and just a little bit sweet too. No one else really makes a good amber ale anymore, so you got to get with Breck Brew to get that. But they also have a beer for everyone. You can get in with any of Breck Brew's dozens of flavors. They have a bunch of amazing stuff from IPAs to sours to wheat beers. You name it, they've got it covered. They even have seasonal rotating beers if you want to try something unique. So make sure you're getting with Breck Brew. They've been doing it for 33 years, and it all comes down to their love and passion for making good beer. And they also make it with 100% renewable energy. So give it a try. Like I said, I love the amber, but there is a beer for everybody. The Mile High City, if you're a Nuggets fan. Broncos Country, if you're a Broncos fan. They also have the Fun Slinger there. Even if you don't like beer, they have Good Company hard seltzer. So they've got you covered over at Breck Brew. No matter what you're looking for, you can find their beer anywhere in the United States when you go online and use the beer locator at breckbrew.com to find a brew near you. With Breck Brew, once you've got some Breck Brew in your hands, chilling, enjoying life, look, it's always a good time to kick back, but unfortunately, sometimes emergencies happen. And that's when New Built Restoration and Construction will be there for you. They're licensed general contractors who can help with any project, big or small. And importantly, they're available 24/7 and truly care about being there for their customers. They do all sorts of different services, even ranging from commercial projects all the way down to whatever you need. And they'll work with your insurance to make sure a stressful process like this is as smooth as possible. Plus, they're true DNVR fans, so we're super excited to support business on that front as well. New Built offers repair services for fire damage, water damage, mold removal. They also have those commercial projects I mentioned and many other things, pretty much whatever you need. So when that home emergency hits, New Built Restoration and Construction will be there at newbuilt.com. That's NUBILT.com. Or you can call 720-903-4254 and let them know DNVR sent you over to New Built. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast presented by Bet365. Yeah.
Yo, this comment from the Toyota chat is so on point about your hair. It was funny at first, but it's actually grown into being kind of awesome.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when the brown comes back, like full time.
The roots are coming in pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's where I'm like, I'm
That's
scary.
what makes it better, is because it's no longer like Carrot Top run amok.
I don't know. Like I said, my plan. I don't know that my hair grows quite long enough, but I want to get it long enough where it's like emo boy, half blonded.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
hair. So we'll see if I
you
can
can just
actually
like
get it
stand
there.
in the corner of watch-alongs with your like
Yeah, do the
looking
hair.
over your shoulder, and then you flip the hair.
perfect
Oh
hair
my
flick.
god!
Yeah.
No
Turn into full
celebrating.
like K-pop, like
Yes, no, this is-
attitude.
Oh my god, we got to get you geared up from Hot Topic. They're still
Yes.
open, right?
Surely there's still a
Get you one of those
company.
spiked belts that everyone our age had.
A very poorly drawn, like insane clown posse tee or something.
I mean, we're venturing away from the emo, but into something also funny.
I mean, that's just that's the type of shirt I imagine is at a Hot Topic. I was not a Hot Topic kid. So.
Yeah, I mean, the
Clearly.
Juggalo, like you gotta love the
It's like
Juggalos.
Timu Nirvana shirts type thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'll buy that.
I'm just saying, the Juggalos.
They go hard.
It's not the worst fan base to be a part of.
I mean,
Band isn't great, not my speed, but the Juggalos themselves are pretty awesome.
Yep, say that right into the camera.
Sorry, the Juggalos are awesome.
the Avs do use the whoop whoop. It's true.
Oh my god.
Back. Well, I don't know. Let's transition from one weird topic to another weird topic.
Drama time with AJ.
Oh, is this Ruslan Fedotenko
It
news?
is Ruslan Fedotenko
Okay,
news.
so we don't know if this is 100% confirmed because it's the internet and God knows what's actually real anymore. We could all be AI and you guys just don't know it. We're not, I promise.
Those of
say,
you that
sweet
have met
takeovers,
us
yeah.
in person, you've never actually met us in person.
Exactly what an AI would say, though. Supposedly, allegedly, Ruslan Fedotenko got married to his billet mother. The woman
Yep.
who was his billet mother when he played in the USHL, and the 3 sons that were his billet brothers that his now wife had are now his billet
Son-in-law?
stepsons.
I don't
Yeah, they're
like this.
stepsons.
Yeah.
What a
I
story!
don't like it.
What a story. I just thought that was crazy. And since I don't ever get to be on set with you guys and talk about weird stuff anymore, what a story. I'm super into that. Not like it's weird, obviously, but just I like crazy stories.
I love that this made such an impact on you that you had to be like, no, we need to bring this up
Oh,
on the show
totally.
today. Like, this is news.
I thought,
That
I was
is
like,
great.
this is like one of the, like a hockey romance book because.
No, don't do
No,
that.
no. Let me finish. Hear me out, okay? My hear me out cake is this story.
Okay.
So, have you guys, y'all are familiar with Pride and Prejudice?
Yes.
Are y'all familiar with Puck and Prejudice?
No.
I've seen it. I haven't picked it up.
It is a real book.
Yes.
My girlfriend read it.
I'm
It is
terrified.
Are you aware that it is a time travel
Yes.
hockey
Yep.
romance book?
It is.
We were unaware of the time traveling aspect when she started reading it, and she is reading it, and she looked up and she looked at me and she goes, "Oh my god, they're time traveling."
Yep.
Tremendous. So if that can
It's
be
back
a
to
thing,
like Regency era type whatever,
yes,
isn't it? Like
it
that's
is.
wow.
So if that can be a thing, then Ruslan Fedotenko can also be a book. I don't know if it's gonna do well on Book Talk, but it
No,
would be great on reality TV.
That's some dark romance. Like the dark hockey romance exists for anybody who might be like that. That's what I imagine. Like that's the category that falls into.
I feel like I'm pigeonholing this into a book, and really this should just be a show on Bravo.
We're one step away from I'm my own hockey grandpa at this point. Like
Great.
That's
I look forward to the reunion with Andy Cohen hosting. This is going to be awesome.
oh god.
okay.
We can get back to actual hockey.
I'm gonna move on from whatever this was now. Getting back to the Avs though. To avoid becoming your own hockey grandpa for the Avs.
So Brent Burns,
Kinda, yeah.
sort of.
I'm super nervous to say something funny right now.
But you look at the Avs lineup as a whole. We've been digging through some of the potential call-ups. We haven't really touched on that defensive side. Are we still sitting in the boat where the defensive side feels too thin? Do we still expect the Avs to be heavily interested in a left-handed D?
I think until Solovyov goes and has himself a Josh Manson type night or a Brent Burns type night and starts to kind of fit into what the Avs are looking for, which he has in the last like maybe game or two. Like he's started
played
maybe
a few good games.
Like it's better than what we first saw out of him. Like I'll give him that. Like there's improvement, there's trending.
Yeah.
But until I think there's still a bit of a gap there for a guy like Solovyov. And
I just think the question with Ilya Solovyov is, when you inevitably have an injury in the postseason, do you trust him?
Mm-hmm.
Do you trust him against whoever their first round opponent is going to be? Just because the universe hates us, it's probably going to be Utah. Do you trust him against a Utah or a Seattle, which please let it be Seattle, or a Dallas or Minnesota in round 2 and Edmonton or Vegas in round 3?
No.
Because that's where you're at right now. He's the Jack Johnson on your roster from if you're copying the 22 team, he's in the Jack Johnson spot right now. When Sam Girard gets smoked by Ivan Barbashev against Vegas and breaks his sternum again, Ilya Solovyov is in for the rest of the run. Do you trust that? Because if the answer is no, you're in the market.
yep.
My answer is no.
No, that's kind of where I'm sitting too. That's why I'm saying like unless Solovyov goes and kind of changes his narrative, changes his identity to fit something more of what the Avs need, I can't imagine that that's the answer.
It's really hard, too, because I don't think it's just he needs to have a big game. He needs to prove he can consistently be a quality NHL defender, right? And you know what? He has a little bit of runway here with whatever Devon Taves is dealing with to maybe prove that. But so far, what we've seen of Solovyov is the lows are too low.
Yep. And I will go as far as to say what Bednar says and what Bednar believes, I believe, are two very different things sometimes.
Coach is going to coach. Yeah.
Right. But like that's the mindset, right?
Yeah.
There is that runway. You're not getting Devon Taves back for I mean, I imagine it's not going to be until the Olympic break, if longer than that. And he believes like this is an opportunity for a Solovyov to step into that role that they need from him. But ideally, like you're looking at Solovyov and the type of player that he is. I don't see that changing between now and the Olympic break. Like a few weeks is not a lot of time to sit there and change the identity of who you are.
You're 45 games in.
Yeah.
I said this on last night's postgame?
Probably.
Oh, pregame with Eric.
Yes.
You have right around 15 games before the deadline now. It doesn't feel like it because March 6th still feels like a world away. With the break in February, though,
you have weeks off in there. Yeah,
you have about 15 games left to make decisions. Whatever you're feeling about it, you're probably not changing at this point. What's going to happen in the next 15 games to make you trust Ilya Solovyov in the postseason? They didn't trust him for 2 months, and that's not a bad thing. Their lineup was healthy.
Yeah. That's the gauntlet of the Colorado Avalanche when you're dealing with them on a nightly basis, and they're not.
Well, and when you're looking at the defense, he sat for 2 months because 1 through 6 are bona fide NHLers.
It's really hard to argue with what a Malinsky is doing now.
There's just not many teams out there whose 1 through 6 you go, we want that every night. That's our chosen
guys
lineup.
Are playing a 7 as their 6.
We're comfortable with that. Most teams are going to rotate some guys in because almost everybody has a straight up bum on the third pairing.
Yep.
Like whatever Winnipeg is doing.
Look at Dallas's right side. I mean,
injuries will dictate some of that. But when they don't, most teams are still rotating because third pairing guys who are effective are really hard to find.
It's true.
And the Avs are just really very comfortable 1 through 6. I'm going to be the dissenting opinion on Solovyov. Do I think they will change their opinion and trust him and not make a move? No. I do not. But there is a lot more that I have liked than disliked with him. The big problem, look at last night. You go and look at his underlings, they're fantastic.
But
what happened? What's he doing on the Bobby McMahon goal?
He freezes.
What are you doing?
Yep.
Now I understand that little dude is super fast.
And there are other issues.
But that is a one face-off that they don't even touch him.
Yep. You got to keep it in front of you.
Do some. I mean, I would prefer you straight up on the fly Broncos linebacker try out tackle that guy than let him break in on Trent Miner alone like that.
Yeah.
Don't set that guy up for failure. What he did is worse than taking a penalty there.
Yeah.
At least taking a penalty there is understanding this is bad.
Well,
I blew this. Now I'm going to make up for
Given
this.
the Avs penalty kill this year, the answer
Which one do you
should
trust
always
more?
be take the
Yeah.
penalty.
Which one do you
probably.
trust more?
Yeah.
The PK? The first rated PK in the league, or
Below average.
Bobby
Yeah.
McMahon on a breakaway against
Yeah.
your third string goaltender?
Right.
Yeah.
Easy
trusting the
choice.
PK.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just that's your struggle with Solovyov is there's almost always one thing in a game that you can point to, and it's not a small thing where you go, this guy. But then you look at the overall numbers, you look at the body of work, and you go, okay, there's a lot of really good here. There's a lot, and experience playing both left and right. That's valuable.
It's hard because the Avs have that guy already, though, right? You already live with the Josh Manson experience of once a night he's going to do something real dumb.
Yep.
Once a night Brent Burns is going to get lit on fire. And you can only have so many of those guys. If you have those guys in your lineup, you need a third pairing guy that he doesn't have to be flashy. He doesn't have to do anything great. He just needs to not mess it up majorly and give up serious chances against.
Well, this was always the Jack Johnson conversation, is that he was safe, he was reliable. Every single player, every single defender who got put on a pairing with him got worse.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he was reliable, and he avoided making really big dumb mistakes that really burned them. He just limited their dynamic element when he was on the ice. There's a trade-off. We're talking about a seventh
There's a
defenseman.
middle ground there, right?
We're talking about seventh defenseman, though. Like,
You're right.
There's trade-offs here.
There's gonna be holes.
If you could go out and find a guy who is safe, he doesn't make mistakes, and he's reliable, he wouldn't be a seventh defenseman.
Parker Weatherspoon.
Okay, but that's, again,
Not a 7.
he's playing on their top pairing.
right.
And like that brings up my next question then too. If we're talking about weaknesses, you're talking about getting some of that jam that
Yeah, for
I
sure.
want. That is the Sims
Right.
the answer for that.
You can't.
Yeah.
So
And this is a unique
is not.
Avs situation.
no.
Right? Most teams aren't looking at their defense going, we have these two small guys that we have to work around. The Avs kind of are. It's in my opinion, the reason we haven't seen more Jack Ashawn this year, probably, or one of the reasons, is because you can't run 3 guys that small in your defense in the NHL. You just can't.
You definitely can in the regular season
Sure.
and get away with it. You cannot in the
Right.
postseason. The way that they are now, I'm not comfortable with 1 through 6. I still think they need to do something 1 through 6.
I think that's fair.
I would say it is on my list of priorities for them. I would still say it's second.
3C
And
more important. Yeah.
I have a sneaky suspicion that they agree with me.
Well, we can get into that in a minute. We do need to take our second break of the show, so let's shout out a few more of our sponsors. The official DNVR vehicle is Toyota. They're also the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche, so you got to get yourself into one. They have a vehicle for everyone. Trucks have been in their DNA for generations, if that's your thing. And obviously, here in Colorado, lots of trucks are needed sometimes. Whether you're conquering off-road or just hauling the way to the world, there's a Toyota for you. Yes, you got the Tacoma, you got the Land Cruiser if you're more of an SUV type of person, whatever it might be, 17 different models with all-wheel drive available to take care of you on the roads or off the roads, and 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Tundra iForce Max. Yes, they even have hybrid trucks. If you're looking to save a little bit of money on your commute, a hybrid might be the way to go. Everything in between is, they have sedans, they have crossovers, they've got you covered over at Toyota. So visit a Front Range Toyota store near you, including AutoNation Toyota Rapo and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Group Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevens Toyota in Aurora, Stevens Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, Toyota, not just the official vehicle of DNVR, but the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche too. Toyota, let's go places. And once you've got yourself into a Toyota, it might be a Toyota used to haul your kids to soccer. Or adults, too. Join the Colorado Soccer Association. It's the official hub for over 65-plus soccer clubs across the state of Colorado. They offer a bunch of programs for youth players, adult players, coaches, referees, or if you're just a family who wants to get involved in the game of soccer, they've got you covered. You can use that QR code on screen, or you can go to their website. Kids kick off soccer journeys as young as age 3 with the Colorado Soccer Association, so you can start them real young. And whether you're playing for fun or competing at the highest level, they've got you covered. You can even explore a career in soccer, so there's something truly for everyone. You can be a part of history as well. The 2026 World Cup is coming to the United States, and here in Denver, we have our new NWSL team. Things are really starting to ramp up around the summit, so it's going to be a fun season of soccer here with their inaugural year. If you want to get involved, you can visit coloradosoccer.org to find a club near you and be a part of the future of the game. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast presented by Bet365. It still feels a little too early to me for the Avs to seriously be digging down and locking in on 3Cs. Obviously, if a good thing presents itself, you don't hold yourself back. But
when you say like digging down and locking in, do you mean like making trade calls right now?
yeah,
Okay.
Again, if the perfect guy is available for the right price, of course, you should always be knocking on doors and all of that. But all I'm saying is the Avs shouldn't be like, this is our guy. We're getting this guy today.
Yeah, I mean, if we wake up tomorrow morning and they trade for Vlad Nemesnikov out of Winnipeg to be their 3C, I think we're all just going to be like,
Why?
cool,
Yeah.
thank you for that oatmeal for breakfast.
Like
that
it-
is perfectly healthy.
It's fine.
And it's not bad.
But did you have to do that today? Like, yeah, right. I don't know. It's just not an urgent issue.
That's
right?
not that kind of move isn't one that you're in a rush to make, because I feel like that kind of move is probably their deadline day when the bigger,
Right.
like higher impact, higher ceiling type moves
Now,
have been made.
I suppose if it was Phil Deneau, I'd be more hyped though. So
Yeah, I mean,
that ship sailed,
Yeah.
obviously.
ship
Right.
burned to the ground like a day after we
Yeah,
started getting
right.
hyped about it.
Unfortunate.
That was a bummer.
Well-
But also made perfect sense as to when we were like, they can't afford this
Yeah.
because they couldn't afford a second round pick to take on a full $5.5 million set. Like that was exactly what we were talking about. Like they're a bad fit for this reason.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And that's going to be their big challenge. They've got a little bit of cap room, but not a ton. They're going to have to move somebody out. And as we talked with Eric yesterday, you worry a little bit about chemistry, but not so much that you don't make a bigger move.
Right.
That I think is my concern too. Is like you look at a Brock Nelson at the end of last year versus a Brock Nelson right now, and they're two kind of vastly different players. So, I mean, it's a fair concern, but at the same time too, like how much is that concern is, okay, can we keep shifting a Ross Colton and forcing him to play center versus like suffering on that fourth line where you're only playing them one shift a game? Like how sustainable is that?
It's interesting too because different players get affected by trades differently, right? You never necessarily know what you're going to get going into it, but you look at someone like Arturi Lehkonen in the Cup year. He gets traded to Colorado and plays some of the best hockey he'd ever
Yeah.
played in his life at that point. As opposed to
Valid.
someone who will come into a trade and take a while to adjust and not be as effective. So
This is the argument for making the move before the break,
giving more time.
because then the team he can get into Colorado. He can move his family during the Olympic
Yeah.
break. He can do it because chances are pretty high that whoever they get to be third C isn't going to be playing in the Olympics.
If they are, whoa.
Right.
Like-
who did they
Sidney
get from one
Crosby.
of the smaller countries? So, like, that's the argument for getting ahead of it, is that they get here, they get set up. They don't have, because we've talked so much about Brock Nelson moving the family and trying to deal with all the off ice things and you know the adjustment first trade of his career. It was a lot. He played 19 regular season games, and then you had an extremely high intensity, like abnormally high intensity first round series.
Yep.
There was a lot. Now he got a summer. He got to settle in a little bit, just go and play hockey. He didn't have to worry about all that life stuff. So if you're trying to maximize the results that you're getting out of a guy and maybe getting ahead of a market, you do lock in, you do drill down and go and get a guy and do it before the Olympic break. Not today, but before the Olympic break. That gives you extra time.
Purely based on the scuttlebutt that's just been floating around, it does seem like a lot of teams are probably targeting the front side of that Olympic break to get some of their work done.
They should be for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Because you come out of the break and you have
It's crunch time at that
it's
point.
like what is
Yeah.
it like
It's like 8
10 or
days
12 days or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
not even. Yeah,
it's we'll say, because I don't know the exact number.
Me neither.
We'll say like roughly 10-ish days between the end of the Olympic break and the deadline. That's nothing. Everybody's either going to be rushing to do it right then, or some teams are going to get smart about it and they're going to do it right before the break.
Yep.
I would try and be. Colorado's needs are clear; they're defined.
Yep.
The big problem for me continues to be that gigantic mushy middle of the NHL, where so many teams are still in
Who
it.
wants to sell? Yeah.
So many teams are still in it. Who is going to say we're throwing in the towel before the Olympic break?
Apparently, St. Louis.
St. Louis keeps saying, "Oh, the doors are open. We're doing that." Like they're looking for somebody to throw them a life preserver for their season and be like, "Hey, the season didn't go the way that we wanted, but look at what we got for Braden Shen." Like what we had to make that deal. Like that's what they're not really selling. They're just sort of like they're the family that puts their house up for sale and just to see what they can get for it. And then when there are no takers, they pull it off the market after a month. That's St. Louis right now. That's not a real for sale sign in front of that house.
You say so.
That's give me a huge cash offer and I'll say yes. If somebody will do that, and I do think that there's a good chance somebody's going to get desperate. The arms race between Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota is very real, and all of them want centers.
Not wrong.
So
It's also the situation St. Louis is in too. The West is in a very different situation than the East, where there is quite literally 0 points between the second wild card spot and the spot right underneath it too. So like it's not like St. Louis has that's 8 points to crawl back into.
They're done
for a wild card. So like, what else is there for it? Like unless everybody else in the West just kind of craps the bed, like what are you gonna do to crawl back into that with that besides?
Even then, based on what their GM said, it's the 8th seed in the East. You feel like anyone could win round one of that. The 8th seed in the West right now, and obviously playoffs are different. I'm not trying to get into that conversation, but no 8th seed is gonna love that they have to face the Avalanche in round one.
Yep.
well, I mean, the infamous Daryl Sutter quote:
Waste of 8 days.
"Waste of 8 days."
Worked out pretty well last time. The Avs. Wasted 8 days.
It was St. Louis. You mentioned the GM. It's Armstrong's last year
Yeah.
before Steen takes over and transitions and takes that job. Is he really going to make like a big? And
Gut
obviously,
the organization
he
potentially.
he would work with Steen
Of course.
and be like, "Hey, but this is a guy that's already been checked out." I think it just from afar, it seems like he's been more focused on trying to win a gold medal
Yeah.
than a Stanley Cup this year. Which, like, you look at the respective situations, sort of fair enough, sort of.
Sort of.
Don't
But
know why he brought his goaltender if that's his plan, but
well, he likes his guys.
One last ride.
But I do wonder how much the politics there are going to play a role. And also, like, there's not a lot of pending UFAs. They can take these conversations into summer.
that's true.
Now, obviously, you hang on to these guys, they get less valuable because teams have less.
To give, yeah.
Well, and they don't have as many. They have fewer playoff runs to make with the player that we're talking
Year
about.
over year, just generally. Yeah.
Right. So if a guy has 2 years left on his, if he has 1 year left on his deal after this, you get 2 playoff runs out of him. You wait until the summer, you get 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes him less valuable just in that regard. But again, I think they are saying, come make us a great cash offer and we'll say yes. Everybody wants the Brock Nelson trade, but not everybody has Brock Nelson to trade.
True. Leave it at that. All right. It's the time of the show to talk about the big 2 weaknesses that the Colorado Avalanche have had all season.
I gotta go.
Yeah. It's the power play, and it's anything past regulation hockey. I will say the power play seems to be trending in the right direction. At least on home ice, they have got themselves out of the bottom 10. 20th in the NHL on the power play on home ice. The road power play is still horrendously abysmal. Are we finally seeing them turn a corner at least? And I'm not saying, oh, it's been great and everything's fixed, but we're at least seeing it look better somewhat consistently and scoring some, right? Yes, they will still have horrible power plays like the last one the other night, but better?
There's the Avs power play, and then there's the Brock Nelson show, is the way that I'm kind of looking at it. With Brock Nelson,
got like 6 of their last 10 power play goals or something. Maybe it's like 6 of their last 12.
If I'm not mistaken, has peaked at 11 power play goals in a season through 72 games played in the 21-22 season. So the pace that he's on right now to help out that power play is pretty insane. And if that's what you're looking at to kind of spearhead your power play success, I'm okay with that. But at the same time, it can't just be him, because at some point too, and it's the same conversation we've had all season of, like your power play looks good for a couple games, but then it starts to get a little predictable, or it starts to go down a hole, and you come up with the same problem you've been dealing with the entire season. So how long is it until, like, okay, we know Brock Nelson can be dangerous on the power play. We've got to kind of provide that extra coverage there. So we force Nathan MacKinnon to shoot a puck, or at least shoot it well, or
Right.
Martin Netjes to do something, valuable with his ice time. And then that becomes the conversation. But right now, what they're writing with Brock Nelson, the meeting that they had last week, which was a huge meeting, and just kind of like, it wasn't even like, okay, this is what we're doing on the power play. Bednar talked about it this morning, was like no, what are your ideas?
Right.
Like, this
We
is
gotta do something.
literally, this is a
Yeah.
free for all. So if you have anything productive to provide to this conversation, please. And something's working, something's happening there. So like, if that's the variability type aspect you're going to get from this, like it seems promising.
I think so.
Just out of curiosity, while you were talking, and I wanted to look up how they've been doing in like the last 20-ish games.
Sure.
So I just went and looked their power play rates for their last 20 games. They're bad.
We already knew that.
Yeah, but high danger chances, they're 32nd
That's real bad.
per 60.
Yeah.
Like their scoring chances, they were, I think, 28th. Their actual shots on goal are like 8th.
Yeah.
So it tells you that they're taking
Just a bunch of low danger garbage.
exactly,
Yeah.
and their actual shot attempts is like 16th. So they're not shooting very much. Not very many of them are dangerous, and they're not scoring. Their expected goals is like 20th,
Bad. Yeah.
so which was higher than I thought it was gonna be. Like, there's no reason for optimism here. They haven't given us any.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think there is reason for optimism, simply because they couldn't continue to shoot such a low percentage on the power play, even with low danger chances.
Their actual goals per 60 over the last 20 games is 25th.
Yeah, not good, but not worse than the league.
What's the reason for optimism?
That they've found something that at least works.
The rock bottom has been hit.
Hopefully.
I think, like, it seems like with this power, we've seen it at its worst. Like, you're.
Don't say that. Don't challenge them.
I feel like we've seen a pretty bad power play out of them this season. So if that's the low point that we've hit with this team, like, there's really only up to go. And again, given what a Brock Nelson is doing, given some of the looks that Nathan MacKinnon has had, like, they're moving the puck a little bit better. Yes, maybe some of it is low danger garbage, but like you've still got some of that that's working for a guy specifically like Brock Nelson, like a Martin Netjes recently.
And there's a fair argument to say, hey, we're so down in it right now. The hope for the Avalanche is that they get out of the bottom 10. Mm-hmm. When in reality, this team, the expectation should be it's a top 10 power play. And they're not even in the ballpark of being that.
That's why I'm saying, what's the reason for optimism? I just filtered it since January 1st. Mm-hmm. And obviously they haven't played quite as well since then. But like, oh, they might have found something. They might have that's 6 games.
Yeah.
These numbers are all the same thing. They're all bad. The one thing that they do well, shots on goal.
Yeah.
But also, you have a lot more time to get shots on goal when you play a full 2 minutes all the time.
True.
I watch it. I watch it with the eyes. I look at the analytics, and then I go back and I look at the video, and I put all three of those together, and I say, this is a fireable offense. Now.
This is you think Haxtell's job
Now.
should be done now.
Now. Get rid of him now.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a sense of urgency around the entire organization. Over the last 2 years, they have revamped how they scout goaltenders at the amateur level, at the pro level. It has shown some interesting returns early on. They have gone completely all the way in with their asset management, not worrying about young players, not worrying about waiting on a Cal Ritchie, not worrying about any of that. There is a sense of urgency around the organization about every single aspect, except this.
Well,
They fired a guy who didn't do a
Yeah.
good job, and they brought in a guy who made it worse.
let me ask you then.
And instead of doing something about it, they're having a players meeting and saying, "Hey,"
That was the point I was gonna. Yeah.
right? Like,
it's like
hey,
why is
what
this?
do you guys think about this? What are you getting paid for, Dave Haxtell? What are you getting paid for? If your players are now having to come together and figure it out themselves, what the hell are we talking about? Right now, this looks like a blown hire in like worst fears realized kind of way. We hated the hire when they made it. He had no history of success in this area. Bednar talked about, well, we had a unique situation because of the level of talent that's in our room. We didn't want just anybody. We needed somebody that had big time coaching experience. Okay, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Here's
He's
the
just
thing.
and no
Like,
success.
fire him, don't fire him. I'm pretty indifferent, to be honest. But let me ask you, do you actually think firing him is going to fix anything?
I truly, in my heart of hearts, I will say I don't know.
Okay.
Because who do you hire that makes your power play better who's currently unemployed?
I mean, does it matter? Does the power play coach even have any control, honestly, at this point? Because most nights, what it feels like to me is Nathan MacKinnon goes out there and does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
At that point, the coach is almost irrelevant, right?
And Nathan MacKinnon is such a special player in most facets of the game that you're fine with that.
Right.
This has been awful, though.
You're not wrong.
We're 45 games into it, and they have a bottom 5 power play. It's an embarrassment.
It needs to be better. It needs to be better. I'm more optimistic than you, I think, and I know some of the underlyings are bad, that it's trending
They're
in the
all
right
bad.
direction.
Is my problem. And you know that when I look at the numbers, if I find something that's good, I'm going to go, okay, it's not a wasteland here. This literally the only thing that they're in the upper echelon of the league in is actual shots on goal. But when you're taking low danger shots on goal, when you literally have more players on the ice than the other team, that is not good enough.
Okay.
You have Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon are two of the 5 best players at their positions in the entire world. Inarguably, 2 of the top 10 players in the NHL.
Yep.
And for some reason, they get on a power play and nothing happens. It's bad. It is bad. There is not enough of a sense of urgency around this.
I agree with that. To be honest, the word urgency might be the biggest problem the Avs power play has.
Absolutely.
That I don't know that I see any team as casual as the Colorado Avalanche are on their power play.
No. Or at least as consistently. Like they have spurts. Yeah.
They'll have a good power play. Honestly, they have decent power plays all the time.
Last night, great example.
Yeah.
They score 5 seconds in.
Yeah.
Yahtzee. Their second power play, pretty good.
Yeah.
It just doesn't score. Victor Olofsson probably scores a goal if Val Nichushkin doesn't block his shot.
Right.
And then you have a third power play, which I wrote about extensively last night and said it was an affront to humanity and made me question an entire lifetime of choices about watching hockey.
Yeah.
And said that if you were building a a house of horrors, like a scary house for Halloween, that you would just play that power play on repeat in a house of mirrors. It was that offensive.
Yeah.
It was that useless.
Yeah.
In a big moment in a game, you did nothing.
And again, with that much talent too, when you know
Nothing.
what you can put up, right? Like you know that 5-second power play exists.
I'm just asking for it to be competitive.
Yeah.
Some nights I feel like it is, but obviously it's not good enough. So.
But it's like string them together. We talked about last night. I want 4 games in a row with the power play goal.
This I do agree with. You need to have consistent power play night and night, not a good night and then 3 bad nights.
You cannot win at 5v5 every single night in this league.
Yep. It's too hard.
Yeah.
The other conversation is overtime. And I opened this one, Bailey, with how much do we really care that the Avs are so bad at overtime and shootouts?
I think your ideas are starting to rub off on me a little
We're
bit.
working on her. We're wearing her down.
We're
Chad.
wearing her
We're
down.
getting there.
Oh, are you getting closer to this doesn't matter? For
I'm
the
half and half.
Avalanche.
I'm half and half.
Matters a
on
lot
it.
to Vegas.
Like
No kidding.
I'm starting to kind of at least step onto the boat of, 3-on-3 does not exist in playoffs. So like, what do they have to worry about? But at the same time too, like there is, you look at the stretch of games in January and there's a little bit of concern, I think with you look at the past few months of hockey and they've had 1 regulation loss. If that,
2.
in any of them. And then in each month.
They've got 2 this month.
But that's what I'm
they
saying
got
is like
to
you
January.
look, they got to January.
I'm being
writing
an asshole.
on that.
I'm strictly being an asshole right now.
Let me have my moment.
All right, reply guy over here.
But
I'll
like
just
you
mute
get
him, it's
into
okay.
January and you see this kind of fall off or this come to Jesus or this fall down from grace moment that the Avalanche are having. And you're like, okay, like, yes, they have a 10-point, 11-point lead on the next team down.
Yeah.
But if this is the trend that it's continuing on, that could be that 1 point or those 2 points could mean the difference in home ice advantage if they have that much of a fall from grace, if they're not finishing first in the league. And
it would just take such a turnaround.
it would.
They would have to be very mediocre for 30 games. And
even
Dallas
then,
or Minnesota
yeah.
would have to be spectacular.
And that we go back to the, you can't win games at just 5-on-5. Dallas, I mean, they're winning games on the power play. They're
Almost
winning
exclusively.
Well, and now
So-
you've looked at it like they're getting outplayed. What happened when their power play went away? They stopped
lost
winning
6
games.
of 7.
Yeah.
They just stopped winning games because we had talked about it a lot. They were afloat because of that.
Yep.
The Avs are kind of in the opposite boat. The only thing keeping them from being darn near undefeated is the power play.
Yeah.
Which is like a super different situation to be in.
Right. No, and again, with the talent, like that's the concern, right? Like that's the weird part of it. But we already hashed that. My whole thing is if that fall from grace happens or if it gets that close, that's a little too uncomfortable for me, just given the expectation this team is set.
Yeah.
I like the idea of them going out and like I look at a game like last night and they got a point out of it. Like that's you escape with a point. Like that's a good thing. I prefer the we lost a point, whatever. And like you're at least trying for games and you're making yourself a competitive team in that and like trying to earn those 2 points every single night. Because as much as you might like at Kale saying like we want those points too, like absolutely they want those points. Like that's you don't become a competitive team like the Colorado Avalanche without wanting that night in and night out. And that's not always just a 60-minute hockey game. Sometimes that comes in the 65th minute. And that's important.
It is. I would just care a lot more if they weren't, like if they were in a dogfight for every point.
No, that's fair.
Like I would just, other years, I've cared a lot more about overtime results. This year is unique. They're so far ahead right now that I'm just not going to sweat too much of it. And like, they're losing in the same way every single time.
Right.
It's when Makar, Natchez, and McKinnon are on the ice, they're 1-4.
Yep. It's pretty straightforward there.
Like-
There's a couple of factors here too, right? One, shootouts are stupid. I refuse to accept any other answer.
Such a stupid way to end a
Not
hockey
worth
game.
talking about at all.
I don't care.
Right.
That is like, as much as I'm like, about overtime, I'm like, oh, they're bad in the shootout?
Throw in the bin. Literally, whatever.
Okay.
So stupid.
I'd rather them lose in overtime than make me watch a shootout at this point.
Overtimes themselves, this core of the Colorado Avalanche has never been very good at shootout or at overtimes. They've had recently they've been good-ish.
They've been like competitive.
Right.
The last like 3 years,
Yeah.
they've actually been pretty solid in overtime.
And that's the highest the bar ever got.
the 5 years before that, and then this year.
Abysmal.
Not good.
Yeah. So this is not anything new as we are headed into overtime. The conversation continues online at thednvr.com. I don't care about the actual overtimes themselves because of the 3-on-3 thing.
Yeah.
What I do worry about when you put those players out there under the magnifying glass of a 3-on-3, does it expose an issue with the Colorado Avalanche lineup that there are too many guys where if you force them to make a decision, they might make the wrong one?
I would say no, just because. I would say no, just because I'm not. NHL hockey is played at lightning speed,
Of course.
and at 5-on-5, you have other guys out there that can
Cover up those mistakes.
mitigate some
Sure.
of that. And at 3v3, like Nathan McKinnon, it's not like Nathan McKinnon took a nap after the turnover. He fell asleep for not even a full second,
Yeah.
and that was the difference.
Yep.
And again, we're not even talking about this. If Trent Miner makes a relatively easy save,
I mean, let's be honest. We're still talking.
McKinnon
about it,
probably loses it in a
but
different
a
way.
different
But like,
conversation. Yeah.
you know, like it's just such a razor thin margin between success and failure in the 3v3 format, because guys get free. There's so much space out there, and they're so good, and the game is so fast and it's so skilled. I'm not that worried about it. Like, is Ryan O'Reilly, one of the smartest players in the league, going to be a great 3v3 option? He can't move.
Yeah. It's tough.
We watched Arturi Lehkonen last night suck and win, just barely keeping him. He's not fast enough to handle the 3v3.
Yeah.
He can't play at that kind of pace.
And I think the biggest hole for me that it kind of exposes is just how reliant the Avs have become on those high-end goal scorers, and how reliant they become on maybe like a Cale Makar with his defensive partner to create that top-end defense that the Colorado Avalanche are known to have. And like, you're not going to get that in 3-on-3. Like, that's Cale Makar is known to push deep into the zone when he needs to, and he can play really great defense. But that's oftentimes when you have a Sam Malinsky or somebody else to sit there and cover for him as
Devon
well.
Taves has been the adult there and been like, all right, he like puts the leash on Cale, and Cale just like runs away and does whatever he wants, right?
Yeah.
And Taves has got him.
Yep.
It's always been that way. At 3v3,
Ain't
nobody
there.
got him.
Yeah.
he's got him. His goalie's got him.
And especially when you put him out there with a Martin Netchis and a Nathan
Yeah.
McKinnon who...
And then really nobody got him.
That
Where's
trio,
the
stop with that
defense?
trio.
Where's the defense?
Not here.
I say stop with that trio, but obviously they were so close to winning that game last night.
It's a matter of inches at that point with McKinnon's shot.
Yeah.
What a play. It was such a great play, too, for that not to go in.
Everybody thought went in.
It's just
that entire arena
Fascinating
erupted.
prospect, because for a team that is so unbelievably good, especially this year at finding ways to win, they're so good at finding ways to lose in overtime.
Yeah. Well, and then you look at Vegas and you're like, you can really make a mess of this thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's a team that that's a real problem for them
Yep.
because a third of their games are in overtime.
No kidding.
And they are in a dogfight for standings position.
Yep.
That's a huge problem for them.
Yep.
For the Avalanche, we're like, this is an annoyance.
Yeah.
It sucks when they lose in
This
overtime.
is a rock
like,
in my shoe.
right. Like,
yeah.
It's so true. Like, that's a great way to put it, where you're just like, ugh, I stepped on a Lego this morning. Like, like it's not a real
That's
problem. Like,
pain.
The
Don't
power
compare
play
the two.
is a real problem.
It's a privilege to not have to care about overtime.
It's
for sure.
Great way to put it. Great way to put it.
That's all I got. Anything else you guys want to add today? All right.
Solid.
I'm still disturbed by AJ's news drama.
Oh, Ruslan Fedotenko? Oh my God. I'm going to spend the rest
I
of
love
the
how
day trying
you
to
light
bury.
up every time
it's
you
such
get
a
reminded of
fascinating
it.
story.
It's kind of crazy.
I want to know the particulars of like, how did this begin? Like, what type of relationship with it? How old were all the principals when it like actually started to progress? I want to know the dirt. I love a hot goss.
I'm gonna be
kind of
thinking
a
about
messy
this.
bitch.
I'm gonna be thinking about this for the rest of the day.
I'm
going to
go back to the house and talk to Allie about it all afternoon. She's gonna be like, dude, we have to pack. We have to get up at 4 a.m. Well, stop with this. And I'm gonna be like, who do you think initiated it? Like, how did you think what was the conversation like with the kids who now have a new stepdad who also was their billet brother once upon a time? I want to know.
I don't.
Well, I'm a messy bitch, and you're a lot more emotionally stable. So
Sometimes. We are going to wrap up the show. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. We will be back tomorrow and Thursday with more off-day shows, so make sure you keep it here, like and subscribe. Do all that good stuff for us. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.